Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. Well, I think you're all more than aware of the situation developing in the finance and banking worlds as Silicon Valley Bank shook the death rattle. Several other large banks and financial institutions entered free fall, and it didn't take long for the doom and gloom prognosticators to come out warning us that we're all headed for 2008 all over again. And you know that kind of panic. Well, Patriots don't panic. And I knew that I just had to bring back our good friend Troy Noonan, the backpack trader and market expert, to help put things in perspective for us so that we can march forward and see this as an amazing opportunity. So, Troy, welcome back. And if you would, just give us a sense of how you're seeing things from your vantage point. What should everyone out there be aware of in terms of what's happening?
Hello to you, Dr. Steve. Thank you for having me back. I always enjoy speaking with you. First of all, it's easy to overreact. These sort of things happen from time to time, and usually there's cycles that occur. But there was also some fatal mistakes that the people running this bank made. I don't know why, due to lack of experience. I'm not sure. I mean, the pandemic and the aftermath of that set a chain of events in place. One thing I heard that was really interesting today on the radio, something I never even thought of, was the fallout when the face-to-face meetings and relationship building component to business and business relationships, including in the finance world, just kind of unraveled
Hmm.
as due to the pandemic. And it was a different take on things that I found very interesting. In this case, and I'm not an expert on, I mean, there's so much we don't know in the world, right? We know what we hear on the news. We know what we can read and research and search the internet and find out stuff and how much of it's true and how much of it isn't. I look at the prices, I look at the charts, I read what the price action tells me, because the price is always the collective. It's trying to find its value, and it's based on the collective wisdom of everyone in the market.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
includes things we don't know. So, I mean, in this particular case, I know that they invested heavily in 30-year treasury notes,
Right, right.
and they had a lot of money coming in due to the pandemic because the businesses in Silicon Valley were flourishing as a result, providing new services. And when new needs occur in society, businesses come in, and that's how opportunity is created, right? When there's a need, business comes in to try to fill the need. But of course, the world's changed now again. But there was a lack of confidence. These companies are now being hurt by the way the economy has turned since the pandemic, with interest rates going up, and they needed cash. They started taking cash out, and the bank didn't have the money. They had to sell their 30-year bonds at a loss in
At a
order to
loss. Yeah.
cover the withdrawals. And then that,
Right.
obviously, news caught on and panic set in, and everyone's now taking out more money because they're afraid of what ultimately happened. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess. But again, that's just what you read in the news. What happened, like, behind the scenes, I don't know. It's still
Yeah, the lack of
story.
risk mitigation. I've read that that's a huge problem. And then, like you said, when you're so tied up in bonds because of low interest rates, and then those interest rates start going up, and your
Yeah,
and the value of your bonds start going down, and you
right.
start selling them off. Then you have depositors finding out you're getting all these losses, and that freaks them out. So you got the run on the bank, and boom, like you said, it's just this
Yeah,
self-fulfilling prophecy. It's
yeah.
so
And
how, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
well, I was going to say, maybe many of your listeners don't understand the inverse relationship between yields and the price of the bonds. So as
Right.
yields go up, the price of the bonds go down. So say
Down.
you buy bonds for a certain price, and if you're going to hold it for 30 years, you're going to make that, whatever that yield is at the time of its maturity. But in the midst of that long time span, interest rates go up and go down and go up and go down. Well, when they're going up, the price of the bond goes down. So if you
Right.
bought it at a certain price and the yield went up higher, interest rates went up, in other words, now the price of the bond went down, and all of a sudden you have to sell that to
Right.
cover the cash needs of all these people withdrawing and you're selling at a loss, and we're
Right.
talking huge numbers. So
Right. Right.
yeah, that's the thing that you have to be aware of. Now, I'm noticing that a lot of good banks, and I mean, it's bringing the whole banking sector down. You can see the charts, and I'm looking for buying opportunities,
Right.
actually.
Well, that's why we love having you on here.
Yeah.
You don't panic. You right? What was it in It's a Wonderful Life? Everybody's panicking except what's his name? The evil guy. Well, I'm forgetting his name now. But
Right. I don't know who you're
but
talking about.
right. Mr. Potter, right? Or so he knows well. This is the opportunity now to buy. So,
Yeah.
but before we get into that, how does this go? Just for the sake of everybody's, I don't know, their sense of comprehension. How does this go bad? What should we be looking for in terms of danger signs? And what are some of the possibilities of things snowball here?
Yeah. Well, I think everyone needs to everyone needs to be proactive and take responsibility over their own holdings, however much that is, and maybe not put everything in one bank. All the eggs in one basket might not be a good idea. Choose banks that are big and reputable with long histories of, being stable. I think that's good. Uh, I mean, I've got the same issue as everyone else. Everyone's trying to find a place to park their money to get not only to not lose it or put it at risk, like the depositors in the Silicon Valley Bank, but also how to get a return because of
Right,
inflation. If you don't get a return, your dollar is worth less next
right,
year when you can't buy as much.
right,
So, what do you do? That's the question. I turn to trading because trading, you can just use your money to, you make a trade. And if you are trading in the right way, the way I like to teach my people is the trading becomes a business and you get in, you get out, you make your profit. And that's a transaction, just like any other transaction in any other business. So you treat it like a business. You get in, you get out. I was looking at some of my favorite trade plans a lot of my members are using just from today, trading things that maybe most people don't think of, like the futures and commodities markets, for example. There's so much opportunity there. And it's just like when I talk about this in parties, people ask me what I do. I notice that their eyes glaze over like really quickly. And then I change the subject and start talking about my favorite pizzeria or something like that, right? Then their eyes light up. But here's why everyone's eyes should light up, because trading futures is really easy. I mean, if you know how to do it, you push a button, you're in instantly. You push a button, you're out instantly. And if the price went up a little bit, you're out with a profit, or down. If you're trading down, you can trade in either direction, up or down. So we look for price patterns that repeat a lot over and over in nature, where we can predict what the outcome is going to be after. Like, here's a pattern. What's the likelihood of the next thing that's going to occur? And if the odds are stacked in our favor and we use our techniques to prove that, then we have a plan that we can just look for those opportunities all the time. And so today, soybeans. I have a trade plan to trade soybean futures. It's like this is where eyes glaze over, but don't let your eyes glaze over, because the trade plan lasted about 2.5 minutes, hit its goals, and whoever was in that trade made, I don't know, about $150 a contract in 2 minutes. So
Not a bad 2 minutes. But that's what I love what you do with trading, because
yeah,
I've always said this to you. I've always thought investing. And so
right,
with investing, you're like, oh boy, the market's going down. Oh man, I'm gonna lose a lot of money, but maybe I'll find some deals. Whatever. Whereas as a trader, the inside joke with trading is it doesn't matter if the market is going up or going down. Traders know how to make money no
yeah,
matter what, no
yeah,
matter which direction so you're kind of like a boat, the boat rises and it goes down,
yeah,
but it stays afloat the entire time. It counterbalances no matter which way the market is going.
yeah. And you learn to swim with the energy of the current.
Right,
So if the current's going one way, you don't want to be swimming upstream. You just go with the flow.
right,
And then when it starts to slow down or whatever, get out and then wait
right,
for the next little rush that you can get in
right,
on. And then we use plans that tell us when to get in, when to get out, rules to follow, and
right.
these are things that can be learned and
Some kind of
practiced, and you
yeah
get really good at it.
protocols.
Yeah.
What do you think the Fed and the White House are going to do in response to this? Do you have any sense of that?
Whatever they do, it'll probably be too late, and it'll be, what's the word? Too late, not enough, too late.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear it on the headlines, usually you want to do the opposite of what the headlines are warning you about, because it's already
Right.
happened. I don't
Right.
know. I don't have any faith, and I have this shirt on right here. It's my favorite line from one of my favorite bands, Pink Floyd. And I bought this when I was at the Pink Floyd exhibit in London. I was backpack tradering. It says, "Mother, should I trust the government?" It's a line in Pink Floyd. It's a great song. And I wear
That's
it, and it reminds me that, I mean, they're just people like everyone else. Do they really know they have all these other influences that's making their decision process what it is, and a lot of it's political? And I mean, I don't know the answer to your question. Obviously,
right.
nobody does. We're going to
Right.
find out. But I
Well,
protect myself,
yep.
because here's what I know for sure: it'll move the markets.
Right.
Moving the markets means trading opportunities. And again, if it goes up, if it goes down, doesn't matter.
Right.
So I don't think about stuff I can't control. That's a big
Right.
lesson in trading, by the way. A lot of
Right.
people make that mistake when they start trading. They try to control things that they have no control over. What I always
Hmm.
teach is you surrender to what you have no control over, but instead you focus on what you can control.
Right.
And
Right.
that's where you can make your money and find your opportunities. So I
So
can't control what the government's going to do, in other words.
right, of course. So, but again, I love it's the same calculus there. It doesn't matter if if it's going up, it's going down. There are
Yeah.
protocols for making money in both ways.
And
So what?
markets often react in an unpredictable way. So they might do what they do, and you'd think, okay, they did this, the markets are going to do this, and then the markets does something totally opposite,
Right. Right.
because there's
Right.
stuff we don't know that's baked into the all the collective wisdom of the market. So follow the
Right.
price. That's the
Follow
secret.
follow the price. Right. The aggregate of all the different dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you think the average patriot out there should be doing to get ahead of these trends?
Well, for sure, taking a close look at where your money is and trying to diversify, spread it out, so that, let's say you have a certain amount of money and you've got it in four different banks. If one of them goes belly up, you still got the three others that's you're going to
Hmm.
survive, right? But if you have all your eggs in one basket and all of a sudden things implode, that might be unpleasant. It would be very unpleasant, because even if it's federally insured, which most bank accounts are, who knows when you're going to get it? How long is
Right.
that going
True.
to take?
True.
So, and you might get it with inflated money that's not worth nearly as much as it was. That's probably likely. So, I would say, I mean, learning how to trade is a good thing to have, because this always comes up. And you and I have talked about this in the past. I used to say it's never been more important to know how to make money from home, to have an extra way to make money. Like if something happens to your job, your health, your whatever, the banks, or you have a way to make money by knowing how to trade. And I used to say it's never been a better time, after every single possible calamity that's going to happen. But in truth is, yeah, there's never been a better time,
Right.
but that's always the case. It's
Right.
like, it's never been a better time. Here's a way to look at it. Let me ask you a question. I'll interview you on this one question. When do you think the best time to plant a tree is?
Ooh. Yesterday.
That's a pretty good. That's a good guess. My father told me this years ago, and it reminded me when I bought my house and was fixing my backyard up 20 years ago. But the
Mm.
second best time to plant a tree is
Right now.
now, right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great.
So that's a great metaphor
Yeah.
when it comes to your finances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you haven't done what you maybe should have done or didn't know to do, but now you're learning, okay, that's fine. But today, do it. It's time to do it, because it'll
Right.
make a difference for you going forward in your life.
Well, you have a wonderful training. I've been privy to these trainings, and I will be again. You have one coming up, so this might be just the impetus that people need to
Right.
just bite the bullet and just learn these principles and start practicing trading and start making some real money, real cash. So tell us about the training that you have coming up.
Yeah. So it's called Backpack Trader Live. And we talk about how to develop a trading regimen so that you have the freedom that trading can give you. Backpack trader stands for the freedom you get from successfully trading. And it doesn't mean you have to sit and look at your computer all day long. That's the wrong way to trade. I just told you about a trade plan that lasted like a couple minutes.
Right.
And if you could carve out an hour a day or less, sometimes you hit your goals really fast. You could have a day trading plan that can make a big difference for you. So we're talking about that. We're also talking about slower trades for people that work and want to learn how to swing trade. But the idea is you can get to that point where you develop a level of freedom for yourself so that you can have that backpack trader lifestyle, whatever that means to you. So whether you want to trade from the Orient Express, your own sofa, anywhere in between, you can do that. And that's what the session is that we're holding on the 23rd of March.
We're on a cruise ship. We were just on a cruise ship last week, which was wonderful. Have plenty of time. I would have had plenty of time to trade if I was better trained in it, and that's why I'm coming to this.
And so if you had a signal, if you had an internet signal,
and we did, we had Starlink. We had Elon Musk Starlink. Yeah,
I've traded from a cruise ship before. It's fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's right. You make back all the money you lost in the casino.
Well, yeah. We don't want to be gamblers when we're trading.
No, yeah. I wish I knew the techniques in that as well, the casino. But so that's March 23rd.
Yeah, Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Excellent. I will be there.
There's a link right below. Yeah.
Yep. I will have a link down below. Mm-hmm. I'll be there. Nice. And then just and taking notes, and this is great. We've had lots of Turley talkers graduate from your webinars. They have, and that they have loved it. The feedback that we have gotten. You were actually the first person we thought about when we saw what was going on with SVB. We said, "Oh gosh, we're gonna have to get Troy up here and inspire more people to be proactive here." I just cannot stand the doom and gloomers, the black pillars, are just it's 2008 all over. It's like
it's not. It's so different. The world's changed. It's nothing. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's in common is fear and greed, and the two forces that push prices up and down, and that just makes more trading opportunities for us.
Amen. Yeah, so, that's a great way of putting it. Excellent, gang. You got to sign up for this. This is your opportunity to really start controlling your financial future. Just click on the link below. You can sign up. Join me and Troy together on the Backpack Trader Lifestyle webinars that he has. They are wonderful. They are one. Turley talkers love them, and you're going to love them. So make sure you click on that link below. Well, Troy, thank you so much for helping to make sense of what's going on here. They're crazy times indeed, but with your expertise, you help to bring a bit more stability to the turbulence. I can't thank you enough for that.
Well, I appreciate being on again. I always love talking with you, Dr. Steve.
My pleasure. Thank you.